Roman, you've been high on Lane Kiffin all year this year and feel like this is the season he can kind of get it done. Do you feel like tomorrow's that massive last opportunity for him?
Yes, I just talked about it on Feinbaum. You know, we continue to celebrate Ole Miss for getting to these moments or getting to these places, or Lane Kiffin leading this university to places that they have not traditionally been since Coach Vaught back in the day. But it's about time we start celebrating Ole Miss for winning these games. And so at some point you got to make that transition, and hopefully this is the opportunity. I thought Ole Miss, number one, did a great job of setting themselves up to make a playoff run by bringing in all the talent that they brought in via the transfer portal and through his recruiting styles. And so that gives you a chance, right? And then from there, you got to play your way in. And I thought one huge advantage that they had this year was that Alabama was not on the schedule. Like, for whatever reason, that has been the Achilles heels for a lot of teams. Georgia still can't beat them. So you don't have Alabama on the schedule. You have Georgia instead. Can you go knock off Georgia? It's at home. This is the biggest game on this campus, according to all my friends I met at the library last night, since 2014. So, and before that, 2003. And so you guys got to take advantage of it. I'm just here to tell you guys and just be a mirror of a reflection of who you are and show them out to it. So we'll be able to see, and but the game is astronomical as far as in terms of what it can mean for this university.
What matchups are you kind of circling?
For me, it's going to come down to Carson Beck. Is he going to all of a sudden not turn the football over like he has been the last 3 to 4 or 5 games? If he turns the football over, Ole Miss wins this game, because Ole Miss's defense is better than what the outside people know it is, because they just think Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, it's offense. But if you watch this team, it's been the defense that's carried this team, kept them in games when the offense has struggled at times. And so Carson Beck turned the football over. This defense, Walter Nolan and these guys, like Lane Kiffin went and got big guys up front because they did not match up well versus Alabama and the more physical teams that they had to play on their schedule. So you went and got the guys. Let's go see if the guys are worth it now, because this is what everything's been built up to for this moment, this opportunity. And this is why you come here. And so if you win this game, you're able to turn around and say, hey, this is why we bring in guys like this to come and play in games like this. If you lose this game, it's going to be another bag and hat of excuses of why we didn't win this game traditionally. Oh, we are Ole Miss. And so that's up to you guys, and that's going to be up to the players and who goes out there and shows up. And whether the rain or any of these things are a problem, the thing is that the rain probably hurts Ole Miss's offense more than it hurts Georgia's offense. So that will be another play. But like I said before, you guys have the physical talent and ability and the players up front to be able to match up with most teams now.
Roman, following up on the talent part of that, at the end of the game last year when Ole Miss played Georgia, Lane Kiffin made a point to say we were beat in every facet of the game, including personnel. We asked him that question this year, and he kind of said that, well, we've got better players. What are your thoughts on that Ole Miss defense? And you talk about better players. Are they good enough to beat Georgia tomorrow?
Yes, they are good enough. Like I said, it's going to come down to the game within the game. And so, look, Ole Miss defensively, and I said it in the preseason, this is the most talented NFL-ready roster Ole Miss has ever had in their history. And so when you got NFL guys on all 3 levels on the defense, you got Princely, I don't want to mess up his last name, and then you also have Walter Nolan up front. J.J. Pegues is another talented player with very athletic ability. You got the linebacker, Chris Paul, and then also Trey Amos in the back, who's a first-round talent that was just stuck behind more talented guys at Alabama. So you bring all these guys in, you have NFL-ready guys on all 3 levels. That equals success. And so we'll be interested to see is, does Carson Beck throw it, and when he throws it, do you catch it on defense? And then what do you do with it after that? Because defensively, you got to set your team up to score, because Georgia's defense is good, and you're not going to be able to just throw it around the ballpark like you were able to do versus Arkansas.
You've seen this Georgia team a lot this year. If you're Pete Golding and you're Ole Miss and you're very familiar with that Saban defensive tree, what's the best way to stop this Georgia offense if you're Ole Miss?
Look, man, it's very hard because, you got to cover the wide receivers. They're going to do a lot of quick things to get the ball out quick, and then you got to be able to handle the run game. And you got to fit the run right. If Georgia becomes one-dimensional, you beat Georgia. And so that's how Alabama was able to do it, because they got out to a good lead early, and then that made Georgia more one-dimensional, and they just were not able to have enough gas in the tank to hold on late, to not pull it off late. And so that is how you have to go about beating Georgia. Georgia is by far one of the more talented, if not the most talented team in the country. But it's all about how are they playing? Are they motivated? And can you knock them off because you have the home crowd and this type of environment, everybody's going to have to show up in a big way tomorrow. It's not going to be just the Ole Miss players. Of course, they're going to have to execute on the field, but you're going to need the right environment and the right things to happen around you. That's what college football is, and so that's what makes it so interesting, because they're not professionals, and emotions matter. And if somebody broke up with a girlfriend on Thursday night, like, that matters. And so how you show up for this game will matter for Georgia, and it's going to matter even more for Ole Miss.